Welcome, campfire enthusiasts and fans of the paranormal. Tonight, we gather around the virtual flames to delve into a chilling tale of whispers in the desert. Buckle up, grab a steaming mug of something warm, because we're venturing into the heart of Monument Valley, Arizona, where a backpacking trip takes a terrifying turn. So, let's meet our brave and slightly petrified adventurers. The rusted hulk of the old Jeep sat defiant against the relentless onslaught of the Mojave Desert sun. We, 5 college friends on a road trip through California, had stumbled upon it on a dusty back road, a relic of a bygone era half buried in the red sand. Sarah, our resident history buff, knelt beside it, brushing away the grit to reveal a faded inscription on the dented door, Desert Dreamer. John, ever the comedian, quipped, looks more like a desert nightmare to me. His joke fell flat, swallowed by the vast emptiness that stretched around us. An unsettling stillness hung in the air, broken only by the mournful whine of the desert wind whistling through the skeletal branches of Joshua trees. Our dog, Max, a fearless German shepherd, was the first to express unease. He whined and circled the Jeep, sniffing the ground with agitated snorts. We dismissed it as territorial instinct, Max being particularly protective of our makeshift campsite nearby. But a prickle of unease settled in my gut, a feeling that lingered even as we unpacked our gear and set about pitching our tents. As dusk painted the sky in fiery hues, we gathered around a crackling campfire, sharing stories and roasting marshmallows under a blanket of stars. The desert at night held a strange beauty, the silence broken only by the occasional hoot of an owl and the distant coyote's cry. Then it came, a chilling whisper, so close it seemed to brush against our ears. That Jeep belongs to me. We froze, blood draining from our faces. We spun around, searching frantically for the source of the voice. There was nothing. Just the endless expanse of desert under a canopy of stars. What was that? Emily, our resident skeptic, stammered, her voice cracking. Just the wind, Sarah said unconvincingly, her eyes darting nervously around the campsite. But Max let out a low growl, his fur bristling like a warrior preparing for battle. He stared intently at the Jeep, his amber eyes reflecting the dying embers of the fire. We saw nothing, yet the intensity of his gaze held a silent plea. The voice returned, closer this time, laced with a chilling possessiveness that sent shivers down our spines. My Jeep, you leave it now. Panic clawed at our throats. We had heard ghost stories about the desert, whispers of abandoned mining towns and restless spirits, but we never truly believed them. Now, we were faced with something terrifyingly real, an unseen entity claiming ownership over an old, rusted vehicle. Fear threatened to paralyze us, but Max wouldn't have it. With a fierce bark that echoed across the desolate landscape, he lunged towards the Jeep. We saw nothing but a swirling dust devil, but Max continued to bark defiantly, circling the vehicle with unwavering determination. His bravery, a stark contrast to the rising terror within us, seemed to ignite a spark of defiance. He can sense her, whispered Ben, our resident Native American history buff, his voice filled with an unsettling reverence. The spirits of the desert are strong here. Legends speak of women who roamed these lands, fiercely independent, their destinies intertwined with their vehicles. Maybe. His voice trailed off, lost in the vastness of the desert night. Suddenly, Max yipped in alarm and darted back, ears flattened. A low moan, guttural and primal, ripped through the night air. It seemed to vibrate through the very ground, sending tremors that rattled our teeth. The fire sputtered and died, leaving us shrouded in darkness, the only light a million pinpricks of stars in the vast inky canvas above. Terror gripped us. We scrambled, grabbing our backpacks and camping equipment, our minds racing. Every shadow seemed to hold a hidden menace. But the chilling whispers and guttural moans urged us in one direction, away from the Jeep. We ran blindly, following Max's lead. His keen sense of smell and unwavering loyalty served as our only compass. We stumbled over loose rocks and prickly pear cacti, the relentless wind whipping at our faces, carrying with it the chilling whispers that seemed to follow us like phantoms. Just as despair threatened to consume us, faint streaks of pink and orange stained the horizon. Dawn was breaking. Exhausted and terrified, we stumbled out of the desolate valley and onto a dusty road. We waved down a passing cattle truck, the weathered driver staring at us with a mixture of curiosity and concern. He took us to the nearest town, a silent testament to the ordeal we had just survived. Newspapers later reported the discovery of abandoned camping equipment in a remote desert valley, left behind by a group of college friends who claimed they experienced something unexplainable near a rusted Jeep. We never spoke about it publicly, the memory a chilling secret that bound us together. The whispers of the desert, however, never truly left us. Max, once a fearless adventurer, became wary of the unknown. He would occasionally whimper and stare intently at seemingly empty corners, a ghost of that night forever imprinted on his canine senses. One night, years later, while huddled around a bonfire during a reunion camping trip, a familiar unease settled in the air. A cold wind whipped through the trees, carrying with it a faint, chilling whisper. That Jeep still belongs to me. We froze, exchanging a look of silent understanding. The desert, it seemed, held onto its secrets fiercely. We never returned to the Mojave, the memory of the desert dreamer and its unseen guardian, a chilling reminder of the power and mystery that lay hidden beneath the vast expanse of sand and stars. The legend of the desert dreamer became our own, a whispered tale shared only amongst ourselves. It served as a cautionary reminder to respect the spirits of the land, a testament to the enduring bond between friends, and a chilling tribute to the loyalty of a dog who could see what we could not, the echoes of the past lingering in the desolate heart of the desert. Dust devils danced a frenetic jig across the parched landscape of Monument Valley, Arizona. The midday sun beat down mercilessly, baking the cracked earth and turning the towering sandstone buttes a fiery orange. We, four friends, Sarah, the fearless leader, John, the jokester, Emily, the quiet observer, and myself, Maya, along with my trusty border collie, Scout, had embarked on a backpacking adventure through this iconic landscape. Our second day on the trail pushed us towards a secluded campsite nestled amongst towering buttes, marked on our worn topographic map with a cryptic inscription, Spirit's Embrace. We dismissed it as a whimsical tourist addition, a playful stab at the Native American legends woven into the fabric of this sacred land. But a strange unease settled in my stomach as we descended towards the campsite. Scout, usually a boundless ball of energy chasing desert crickets, whined and pulled back on his leash, his gaze flickering nervously at the towering rock formations. Their shadows stretched long and menacing in the afternoon sun, morphing into monstrous shapes with every gust of wind. We set up camp, the silence oppressive, broken only by the rasp of the wind and the occasional yip of a coyote. As dusk painted the sky in hues of purple and orange, a fire crackled in the center of our camp, casting dancing shadows that stretched like skeletal fingers across the red sand. Suddenly, a voice, ragged and ancient, slithered into our conversation, slicing through the stillness like a desert viper's strike. That Gee belongs to me. We froze, hearts pounding in our chests like trapped birds. Sarah, the picture of composure on most occasions, blanched white. Did anyone hear that? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. John, ever the joker, tried to lighten the mood. Must be those desert spirits the map mentioned, he said with a forced laugh that lacked its usual enthusiasm. But the humor died in his throat as Emily, usually stoic and unfazed, shook her head. There's no one here, Maya. Did you hear anything? She looked at me with wide, fearful eyes. I stammered, my mind struggling to process the voice. It wasn't a human voice, not in the traditional sense. It was a rasping whisper, laden with a malevolent possessiveness that sent shivers down my spine. It's nothing. Just the wind, I lied, my voice thin and unconvincing. A low growl from Scout, his fur bristling like a warrior preparing for battle, sent a fresh wave of panic through me. He stared intently at a seemingly empty space between the buttes, his amber eyes reflecting the dying embers of the fire. We saw nothing, yet the intensity of his gaze held a silent plea. The voice returned, closer this time, a chilling whisper that sent goosebumps erupting over my skin like a swarm of desert ants. "My Guy, you leave it now." Panic clawed at my throat. We couldn't see anything, but the unseen presence was undeniable. Fear threatened to paralyze us, but Scout wouldn't have it. With a fierce growl that echoed through the valley, he lunged towards the spot where the voice seemed to emanate. There was nothing but a swirling dust devil, but Scout continued to bark, circling the spot with unwavering determination. His bravery, a stark contrast to the rising terror within us, seemed to ignite a spark of defiance. He can sense her," Emily whispered, her voice barely audible over the rasping voice in Scout's frantic barking. Suddenly, Scout yapped in alarm and darted back towards us, his tail tucked between his legs. A low moan, guttural and primal, ripped through the air. It seemed to vibrate through the very ground, sending tremors that rattled our teeth. The fire sputtered and died, leaving us shrouded in darkness, the only light a million pinpricks of stars in the vast inky canvas above. Terror seized us. We scrambled, grabbing our backpacks and stumbling towards the faint trail that led out of the valley. Each step felt like wading through quicksand, the unseen entity's chilling moans and whispers urging us forward. We didn't dare look back, the darkness filled with unseen horrors. The night stretched on, an eternity of stumbling through the stark and unforgiving landscape guided only by the faint light of the stars and Scout's unwavering determination. We followed his lead, an unspoken understanding passing between us. He weaved through the maze of buttes with an uncanny sense of direction, a canine compass navigating us towards safety. We stumbled over loose rocks, scraped against sharp cacti spines, and the relentless wind whipped at our faces, carrying with it the chilling whispers that seemed to follow us like shadows. Finally, as the first rays of dawn painted the horizon a soft pink, we stumbled out. That eerie desert wind sent shivers down your spine, didn't it? Do you believe in the spirits of the land? Share your thoughts and campfire stories of the unexplained in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this tale of whispers and survival, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more chilling true paranormal encounters. Until next time, sleep tight. Link to Dot, but don't let the desert whispers keep you awake.